4. Here we got scale model Vamp. Right, Vampy and Mark Scale Models. Hello. For him. So I guess we'll make a start. So this has been, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I finally got myself in a position where I can do it. And I thought I would do it. Excuse the little dog. I'm going to do it live so that everyone can see. And it's basically 3D printing. It's going to be a series on 3D printing. Now, I know there's lots of videos out there of people showing you their 3D printers. But I want to go into it a little bit more than that. So most of these videos that are out there are done by people. They say they come on and they go, yeah, I'm a novice. I've not done any 3D printing. And then it turns out, I don't know, their brother's a professional 3D printer. And he comes round and helps them out, or, you know, other little things like that. They're not actually as novice as they make out, which is great. That's not a problem. But I wanted to do one from a point of view from somebody that's never, ever done any 3D printing, hasn't seen a 3D printer, only in the pictures on eBay and stuff like that. So that's what this is going to be. And this is part 1, and we're going to open the box. Now then, a little bit about buying one. There's loads out there. They've come down quite a lot in price. You can pick up a 3D printer now from anywhere from 85 to thousands. There's so many out there. It's difficult to choose. It really is. For example, it's taken me a year to finally settle on one, and I settled on one, and then at the last minute I got a load of recommendations came in just as I was about to buy one, and I realized that I was picking the wrong one, so I made a change right at the last minute. And that's because the cheaper ones are, they've had problems. They've been on the news a lot. Some of them have caught fire. So people are really wary of them, and rightly so. So, you know, always do your research into them. Really look carefully at as many videos of the thing working. Try and look at people's reactions that have bought them in the reviews, people that have bought it. See what their comments are, and try and get a general idea. I did, and I finally settled on a creative. It's called Creative Ender 3. And this was the one that I was told at the last minute. I was going to go with a Tronxy X5, which is a big square one, because the initial problem I had, a lot of the cheaper ones, when I went and looked into the reviews of them, the bed was wobbly. They had lots of trouble setting them up. A lot of people reviewing it were saying, yeah, if you're a beginner, it's really difficult to put together, because most of these printers are DIY. You've got to put them together yourself. And then I came across the Tronxy X5, which is, like I say, it's a big square aluminium frame. Again, another thing was a lot of them were acrylic frames, so they weren't very strong. And this one seemed to tick all the boxes. It had reasonable reviews, and so I was going with that. And then at the last minute, one of the first things I should have done, which I didn't, I joined a Facebook group. I can't remember the name of it. 3D printers, 3D printing, something like that. And I asked in there, and there was a unanimous vote of, you need to get a Creative Ender 3. And so this is where we're at. Let's open the box then and see what's inside. I've got a bit of a blocked up nose. I apologise for that. This box has been sitting here for a while now. I haven't been able to get to do the review because of the the dogs, they bark and I have to look after them, and one's asleep at the moment and the other one's upstairs with Angela. So I've got to try and get this done before he wakes up. So it's a very sturdy box it comes in. Now I'm going to flip the camera down so you can see, but you won't see a lot because the box is quite a large size. So it comes with this foam, little foam top, which will come in handy for, I don't know, that'll come in handy for something, sticking cocktail sticks in, something like that. Who knows? I'm just going to pop them down on the floor next to me. Actually, if I put this on the floor next to me, and then I can take them out a bit at a time. Oh. And we can have a proper look at each piece. So first thing out the top, we've got some tools. And I should say, now I bought this from Creative, the people that make them, and this is a refurb. So I paid £120 for this. Now there's a little bit of a gamble. They're normally this type of one, anything from 170 upwards, depending on who you buy it from. Now, because it's a refurb, it could be an early one, or it could be a brand new one that's not, you know, hardly been used. I won't know until I start putting it together. And so the first thing that's different, which could mean this is a later one, is the fact that this comes with some assembly instructions. Now, traditionally, everywhere I've looked, this does not happen. It normally comes with a CD-ROM, and your instructions are on that. That's what I'm told everywhere I go. But this seems to have some assembly instructions, which is great. We've got a Facebook group there, and some little message there thanking me for this, for the support, which is great. We've got to see what's in this cardboard. Oh wow. That's handy. That is very handy. I'm really surprised that they're not Zurons, are they? They're not Zurons, but they look identical to Zurons. So you get a nice pair of cutters. Excellent. I'm impressed with that. I wasn't expecting that. To be honest, I wasn't expecting much in the way of tools, but they have surprised me. And there's a little bit of PLA through just to get you going. I've actually ordered some PLA, which I can't remember what that stands for, but we will go through in another episode. We will go through materials, where to buy them and how much they are. We'll cover that separately. So there's some tools. Obviously, I don't want this to be an hours long, or you know, a couple of hours long. We'll just try and get through this lickety split. So yeah. There's also a scraper. Now this is interesting. Right. Another bonus of buying a refurb is the fact that I didn't know this. It does actually come partially assembled. That's a bonus. That is not the case with many other printers. That is excellent. That's let's take that off there. So that is already assembled on the bed there. Fantastic. That's brilliant. And I can tell you straight away that this bed is not wobbly. I know other beds I've seen, they can grab them and wobble them about. And I don't know much about hot beds at the moment, but you know, it's something we'll pick up as we go along. So these clips, I guess, hold something on there. All this plugs into various places. This is called the extruder, that I do know, and I think this must be a later one because it's got fans on it. So it's got two fans, whereas the earlier ones didn't have the fans on the extruder, and that caused a bit of a problem, and so you could go out and buy an upgrade. And it actually looks like somebody's put the upgrade there's an upgrade you can buy on eBay that sits there. Now, I don't know whether that's what that one is because of the color. So yes, and that's all wired up for me. Excellent. So I'm just gonna, and it's got that brand spanking new smell to it, so it's not been burnt up or anything. We'll just have a look round. So we'll just have a look underneath. Thankfully, a lot of the cables have been wired together as well. There, the power supply's on underneath, which is brilliant. Motor's all wired in. The little yeah, there you got the back of the board. And it's got these bigger knurled wheels. I don't know if I can pull that. These bigger knurled wheels to help level the bed, which is great as well. Yeah, everything looks good. Very impressed at the moment. So I'm just going to flip that back on it. Ooh. And nearly trapped my finger under there. The whole bed nearly slid over my finger. That would have been rather nasty and unfortunate on the opening episode. Now I just need to move my laptop a little bit out of the way. Sorry if the camera jolts, but this is quite a big bit. I need to stick it over there. And put that on the top of there, like so. Excellent. Right. Then we've got what's going to make up the frame. So all these pieces, they're an aluminium sort of like tongue and groove type affair. The ends, and these will all slot together, and there'll be some bits in there to lock them all down. They're quite heavy. Oh, there's another one smaller. These are smaller, this one. So just take that off. And of course they're anodized. Somebody's tried to pre-drill a hole there for some reason, and it looks like they might have drilled it wrong. I don't know whether that's part of the reason why it's who knows. Then we've got a lead screw. These are called lead screws, and basically they turn and whatever's attached to them sort of moves along. But that's got a cover on it, so we're not sure what that's for yet. A bag of nuts, bolts, different type screws, threaded rods, and they're all bagged up separately inside. Again, and something else I've not seen with other manufacturers. Yeah, I've looked at loads of other manufacturers and they just send like a big bag full of screws. I've never seen them labelled as these are, all labelled up for you and separated. That's excellent. So far, I'm really impressed with this company. I'll just put them there for now, pop them away in a bit. Then we've got, so this is another micro motor servo that will probably, you can see the threaded brass insert there. You know, I'm just guessing, but I bet it's the same as that there, maybe. No, I'm not going to force it because obviously I'm just guessing. I don't want to start assembling stuff without. But something similar will go in there, I would guess. It's some sort of lead screw for traversing or up and down or X and Y and all that. And then we've got some form of system there with a really hefty spring on. And then you've got your connections that go in there. Hefty servos, they're not, I don't know what's going on there. Is that meant to be like that? Is that meant to be like that in there? If anyone can let me know, maybe if you've done any 3D printing. But that, I don't know what that is in there. That's it's loose as well. Better not take that out just yet until I know what's going on. But there we go. And we've got a Facebook code on there as well, if anyone wants to look at that. I will certainly have a look at some point. All right. Then we've got another servo. It's not free moving. It's feels a bit gritty in there. Maybe it's got some gear or cogs on there, but it's you would think that that would just spin nice and free, but it's very sort of jittery and gritty. So again, I don't know whether it's meant to be like that or not. We will know when it goes together. And I should say it's all packed in sturdy foam. None of it's we've got the power lead. The external power supply, which is safety rated, I believe. Unless I'm mistaken, I opted to have one that had got a safety certificate on it. So we'll wait and see. It doesn't look too bad. You can switch it between 115 and 230 volts. It's on 230, which is what we'll have in the UK. QC passed, but I think you can buy them stickers anywhere. You just go into the Smiths or wherever and buy some QC pass stickers. Yeah, I don't think that but it don't look too bad. Enough to get going, which is, you know, I can upgrade. Then we've got this is the LED screen that controls it. So you can make all your adjustments and everything. I'll leave that on for now. It's a circuit board on the back, because I noticed with these things a lot of the circuit boards are left open. They're not enclosed or anything, which is you know, it says it's got a bell on the back, but I think that's like one of those piezo buzzers or something. Yeah, and I do believe, is it this one that takes SD card somewhere, or is that another area? I can't see it. I thought one of these took an SD card. That might be, or maybe this one doesn't. Well, there you go. So that's the put that back in there in the anti-static bag. And you don't want any of the circuits becoming damaged. And we've got a load of pulleys. A plastic toilet roll tube with threaded ends. Both ends are threaded. And then we've got pulley system, obviously for maybe belts to go around, belts, chains, something like that, to go around. And I think that might be it. Just one bag here. All right, we've got lots of tiny little pieces here. Now, oddly enough, that bag there looks like that item that I queried. Was it on this? Yes. And I said that looked all chewed up in there. I'm wondering whether that's that. Sorry, I'm wondering whether that's that. We'll see. And that, one of these plates looks identical to that this plate here. So I think I've got to make another one of these. I'm not certain, but it looks like they might have made one and I've got to make the other. We will find out when I start putting this together. And then obviously we've got lots of other little bits in here. some plastic clips. It says profile cover, X-axis passive block, spares, said axis limit switch, a thin threaded, I guess that's for cleaning out nozzles, I guess. And we've got a belt, 2 knurled, 2 pipe nuts, rack pipe nut, which is going to be this that we saw earlier. And yeah, that's a USB and an SD card on there. So what, something takes USB. Did we see it? I can't remember. So just to show you, it does come very well packed in. Oh, let me reach out. Very well packed in this case. Pop them over there. Oh, we've got another power supply there. We've got 2 power supplies. I wonder, does it need 2? Oh, one's, oh, I see. One's got an English plug and one's got a European plug. So there we go. So we'll just we'll have a quick look at these instructions. Just seeing what it's, yeah. So yeah, everything's assembled there. So it looks as though it's going to be straightforward to do. Step 1, 4 pieces, left, right. That goes on BA. Shorter, longer. I don't know what that means. Step 2, select the correct input voltage. Yeah, I get it. That goes on there. Step so step 2 is putting the power supply, connecting it to the back of one of the uprights. Then step 3 is placing these blocks on, and we've got just down here, you can see we've got, it's telling you, it's showing you 2 2 cheese, I think they're cheese headed nuts. Right, and it's showing you that there's a correct and an incorrect way to put the bolts on underneath them. So that's something you need to watch whenever you see that sign. It's showing you that there's something you need to pay attention to. And then we've got maximum 18p. I don't know what that means exactly, but yeah, I'm guessing that they started bringing these out in response to people complaining that it was too complicated. Because initially, a lot of these kits, if you can imagine, when they come, none of this is assembled. So you look at these, none of this is together. All these are off. All these nuts and bolts, they're all off. The bed is all dismantled. All the screws are out. All these little bits that have been put in here, that none of them are on. And you have to put it all together yourself. And it's quite a task from what I'm led to believe. So it's a real surprise to come out and find what they've basically done is they've put the bed together, and then they've done one side, and that, you know, it's sort of like, that's how this goes. Now you go and build the other side at the same. You've got one as a reference. And you've got a limit switch there. So that's a great idea. And there we go. So that's that is part 1 of the 3D printing extravaganza. I will be back. I don't know when. I want to try and do this because obviously I'm eager to get printing. So let me see. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking it's, you know, we'll need to do one build session to see how it goes, see how far I get. And then I'll know roughly how many sort of episodes it's going to be building it. And then there's a case of, do I do them live or do I do them and then put them out, you know, pre-record them. That way, you know, I can carry on. I can just film everything as I'm going. I'm restricting myself more if I do them live, but then I think people might prefer to see it done live. So, you know, I'll leave that decision up to you guys. You want to see it done live, or you're not bothered? You want to see it recorded? Hell, you might even say, no, we're not interested in 3D printing. You know, if you get enough of them back, then I won't do it. But brilliant. So go and have a look at the chat now. Now we've finished that, I'll have a quick look at the chat, quick catch up with everybody. And then I will be going to take my tablets very soon. I'm late. I am late. I'm late for a very important date. The Mad Hatter. So it starts off with my good friend Vampy saying hello. Dr. Pepper, yes. John Paul, morning. See how I'm Vamp. I just ordered a 3D printer yourself. Well done. There's a few of us getting them now. Scale Model Vamp says pay $99 3 to 1. I know the one you're on about, yeah. All depends on big of project you're doing. So 240 by 240 by 280. That sounds like the Tronxy one. I don't know what this one is off the top of my head. I did know the size, but it's not far out. Scale Model Vamp's got an ANET A5. Yeah. Yes, that is cheap. The ANETs are coming down in price, though. It helps supporting the ongoing companies on GoFundMe. Yeah. If you're all in here, have some beers and popcorn. Go get it right now. Building the printer takes plus 5 hours. And they're on about GoFundMe. So GoFundMe is so generally how GoFundMe works is they bring out a design for something. I don't know. Say I designed a paint rack, and I thought it was a particularly good paint rack. Let's say it agitates paint while it's sitting on the shelves. You know, every day it vibrates for a little bit. That's actually a good idea. But so I'll copyright that in case anybody thinks of nicking that. And anyway, I digress. So I've got this brilliant idea for this paint rack, but I haven't got the money to build it or make it. So you can do a GoFundMe thing. And I'll be quite honest, at this stage, as I'm telling you about GoFundMe, I am making this up because I don't know. I am just giving you what seems to be the logical meaning of GoFundMe. This is how I think it works. And then you go on to GoFundMe and people can donate money. They can buy in, and what they do is they'll give you money and you can then give them like they can buy one early at a much reduced rate, so that when you first make it, they get it first, and they'll get it at an agreed price, which is crazy low than anyone else. And that's how that works, I believe. Yeah, a scale model eloquently puts it. Or, oh, my screen went off there for a minute. Awesome early funding deals before public release. Yeah, absolutely right. Go check it out. You'll find a lot of good deals for the support. Yeah, if you go on there, you'll find stuff that people have thought of, and you might see something you like the look of, and you could donate and get it early when it comes out. Maybe the next big iPod or something. John Paul says he'll look more into it. Spirit says, nice, you went for it. I'll have to watch later as I'm at work. Is it the Tronxy? If you're talking to me, no. Mine is the is it creatility or creati? Creality Ender 3. I got. Scale model, do something like that. Scale model vamp says build it live. Okay, there's one for build it live. Something you support. Yeah. It is Spirit. Oh, right. Yeah, you were talking to Jan. Says we'll need to watch this start tonight. Message is held for review. I don't know why that message is held for review, John. It does this sometimes. I'll just click show because he's got nothing to hide. He just says, John Paul, Spilly Kate, did you check out my scratch-built drag car chassis how-tos? Vamp got a care package from someone that liked my series of the chassis build-up. So I don't know why YouTube felt the need to flag that. Sorry. You're not on any list or anything, so I don't know. My apologies for that, John. John Paul says, good that someone liked my series, not much interest in what I'm doing, so I won't do it again. Well, I will look. I'll go and look, John, at what you've got. I do try and get around the people, the subscribers, but because I've got so many messages flash up, I normally, when the message flashes up, I'll click on it. So if you've not had any message come up in front of my screen for a while, it probably won't flag up. But what I'll do is I'll go and look at your YouTube page, and then it should be in my system as one of the pages I look at. So anything you do from then on should flash up. And what I'll do is Wednesday, I will give your channel a plug for your latest video. I don't know whether it'll help or not, but can only try. Never have enough plastic, always ordering it. Yeah. Scale Model Vamp says the build will take you about 4 hours first time doing a 3D printer build. Well, yeah, wait and see. Might take me longer. I'm very slow. I'm not in a rush. Jan says live, Scale Model Vamp live, Mark Scale Models live. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be live. Right now, Christmas specials. No, I'm not doing any of that. Christmas specials. Mind you, it would be nice to dress up. And, yeah, I don't know. Flory Models did GoFundMe with acrylic paint racks. Yes, they did. But I felt their acrylic paint racks were extremely expensive. I didn't buy one, but that's just my opinion. GB's Model Zone. Hi. Hi, Gordon. He says, hi, Vampy. Jan. Well, end of work for me, so we'll watch this completely tonight. Excellent. Scale Model Vamp. I'll be starting a resin model thing on GoFundMe soon, if anyone is interested. But my stuff will have some vampire theme. I've got a load of screens just jumped in front of me, so now I've got to... Right. We'll have some vampire theme to it as well. Skull, rims and wheels, etc. Gordon says, just think, Mark, you never have to build an Airfix Spitfire again, just print one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I can print one just as bad as they have. Scale Model Vamp, John's series on how to do your own chassis and builds is awesome. I'll go check it out if you haven't heard or seen it yet. I got a spice rack for my paints. Yeah, are they the same size, them spice pots? MDF paint racks, if there's any interest. But 5mm MDF board racks, solid stuff. There you go. So there we caught up on the chat. Thank you very much for joining me and watching the opening of the 3D printer, the Mega Extravaganza. We've got fireworks going off everywhere outside, and it's yeah, the mayor's going to come, cut some ribbon, stuff like that. Up until then, though, I will leave you all. Wish you all the best, and I'll see you in part 2, whenever that is, when we will start assembling this beast. And that's when the fun will start. That's also where the swearing, trapped fingers, bleeding, bruises, that's when that all starts, which I'm sure you're all going to love. Bye for now. Oh dear. Sore throat.